Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover. I'm Sean.
And I'm Corrine.
And what fun pass are we planning to do today?
Today we are going to head off on Engineer Pass. We've come over to Lake City via the Cinnamon Pass, and now it's time to complete the Alpine Loop.
So that's what we're going to be doing most of today. We're planning to camp up there, and hopefully we're going to find a way down to Silverton on the next day. So it should be a fun couple of days, and we're going to take you along with us.
Yeah, we're all stocked up on drinks and snacks, and we're ready to roll.
So before we started up Engineer Pass, had to stop and get our cold drink here at the local coffee shop. And it should be it's a beautiful day. So it should be a lovely day on the trail. It's a Sunday, and we're expecting it to be really quite busy. So we've just entered Engineering Pass Road. And right now it's just a kind of a largish gravel road. So we are in the town site of Ute-Ulay. It's a mining ghost town, like so many of the other ones. It is kind of pretty up here, and it has an absolutely gorgeous little river coming down into it.
So we have stopped here at the Ute-Ulay Town and Mill site, or also known as Henson on some of the maps. There's a nice parking area here, so you can pull over. There's a sign-in box, and the BLM has a sign here showing walking trails you can do. They include an upper and middle trail, and there's a lower trail, but that is closed. So we can go and have a little look around. We've climbed up the upper trail, and we're looking at the head frame for the milling operation. And there's a power building back there. Down below we passed a couple sheds or cabins down near the parking area. You can see the this would be the middle portion of the town, which follows along County Road 20, the main route that the Engineer Pass Trail follows. As we walk along the upper trail here. This is the water tank for the milling in town. And there's a water transport aqueduct up here. Probably connects to a spring higher up on the mountain. Here's some log cabins, probably for the mill workers. In this cabin you can still see the material used to close up the gaps between the logs. So many of the buildings have wiring that's going up the exteriors. So it looks like the town either had a generator or each building had some sort of generator, which would indicate this was one of the milling sites that was in more recent use. Here on the wall of a cabin you can see some of the breakers for the power. This might not have been a cabin for living in. It looks more like a work shed type of building. None of the cabins have doors that allow us entry, but we can look in through some of the windows that are missing frames or glass. This was probably a residence based on the fact it's got some wallpaper down there to the lower right of that door. And also the rooms are split up. In the back room, I can see a shelving unit or kitchen cabinet unit. So this was probably a residence. There's also evidence up there of a brick chimney that was used to exhaust a stove, wood-burning stove, or a kitchen oven stove. All the buildings are posted as area closed to all entry, but sometimes you can get a peek in through a doorway without going to the interior. Shelving unit in this building, so it was probably a work shed. I'm sure that there's lots of rotten boards and hazards for tripping and falling, so the county and BLM that jointly manage this don't want people getting injured. This building shows evidence of a much newer construction. You can see the planks of wood versus wood logs, and there's still some glass windows up in that upper building. This was probably some sort of working area for concentrating or stamping. And there's also a walkway and the aluminum building here.
So down at the bottom here, there's a dam. The dam has been broken on the bottom, so the river's just running through. But at one time, this would have been closing the river up probably about 30 feet. So there would have been a pond, a small lake really, about 30 feet up to the top of the dam here. Looks like they may have used some water power as well in order to generate either electricity directly or possibly just to control the water coming down. After we finished touring Ute-Ulay, we started heading up the road, and as you can see here, it was a very busy day as we had predicted, and it continued to be a very busy day throughout our travels on the Engineer Pass Road. We passed a number of camping spots along the way as we were coming up the road here. So far, all but one have been taken, and look like planted for a couple days by the looks of the camping area. And a lot of this road is actually on private land, or goes through private land apparently, which actually surprises me that there's so much private land up here. So we are parked right now at a place called Capital City. It was the location of a town site that had stores and approximately 100 houses. The area was founded by a gentleman named Lee, who had a number of the mining holdings and built mills and that to provide lumber and that to the local communities. Eventually they went insolvent, and Mr. Lee and his family moved to Denver and eventually to New Jersey.
We stopped at the cabins at the former Capital City site. It was originally called the Galena Mining District, but another community in Colorado used the name Galena, so they changed the name to Capital City. And there's not many cabins left here. At one point, a gentleman named Lee built a 2-story building and I assume rented out rooms. He had a ballroom, a dining room, quite a fancy structure. But eventually he went insolvent and moved away. There's not much to the cabin. A lot of the materials used to close up the seams of the logs has fallen out. Someone's left a straw hat here. There's no obvious chimney spot, but maybe that was closed up by renovations. Just a door and two windows. Would have been a very Spartan existence. There's a second log building behind the cabin, probably used as a work shed or barn based on the design of the construction. It's not as good a repair as the other one. We'll get a peek inside. There's only partial flooring in here. It's something that looks like it could have been a bunk bed. Maybe another sleeping spot there if you're short, or storage area. And someone's put a table near the front entrance that's built in.
After our short stop at Capital City, we were off again.
We've come a bit more than 11 miles and reached the Whitmore Falls scenic overlook. Parked the truck, and there's a series of stairs going downhill. We're going to take a look, see how challenging it is to get to the waterfall. We got to an overlook with fences, and there's quite a lot of erosion under the fence. I'm not sure you're meant to go down there, but Sean suspects some people have done that. The view of the falls is a little obstructed by the vegetation down there. So I'll see where I can get the best view. Well, you can get a partial view of the falls through the aspen branches, and maybe a little bit more if you move to the right, where Sean's standing. So there was a secondary path leading off to the right that gave us a better view of the falls. Not quite so many trees blocking our view. Here's a side view of the waterfall. It cuts off the top part from this angle, but you get a much better view of where the waterfalls land into a pool down there. Some enterprising people have made a path, but I don't think it's a very safe one.
So the picture on the right there is what the rose lime kiln looked like when it was in operation, or just shortly after operation. It's got some holes in it, so I'm sure it's a little after operation. And lime was a pretty important material in smelting, because it was used both as a flux for smelting and a bonding agent to make cement. And this was built in anticipation of a building boom, which I don't think happened. After finishing our stop and getting back in the Jeep, the road continued to be pretty nice until we started to head up the mountain, and then the road started to get a good deal more narrow.
Way up there on that saddle, there's a bunch of vehicles parked, and I believe that is the top of the pass. We have stopped at a little pullout that gives us a bit of a view going back the way we came. Getting a mixture of cloud and sun now, so the views are a little harder to make out. Well, this is the view to the east from Engineer Pass, and we came up through that low valley all along these roads, and we're now at 12,800 feet. Now there's a slightly higher piece we have to go over, but this is the parking area for everyone to stop and enjoy the pass. And on a Sunday afternoon, there's quite a few people here.
As Corrine indicated, we made it to Engineer Pass. Here's the sign. And of course, we had to take the obligatory picture of the Jeep up on the pass.
Here's the view looking west, and way down in the bottom will be the route back to Ouray if you go through Mineral Creek. And when we reach Animas Forks in about another 2 miles, we'll have completed the Alpine Loop.
So this is the road we saw folks coming down when we were on Cinnamon Pass, which is, I think, right below us.
Yes.
And Corrine agrees.
We have 2 miles of downward trek to reach Cinnamon Pass.
This gets pretty narrow in spots, but there are actually also some fairly wide spots as well. It's very rutted, but otherwise really not an issue.
Speed they're going, I think there's steps.
Yeah. Corrine's pointing out that we're coming up to some steps. And we are going to go down these nice and slow. The worst that might happen is when I drop off here, my back end might claim. Shortly after we came down the step, we met these fellows here, but they had a nice place to pull off, so they did that, and we passed them by. Very cool rig.
Thank you.
Okay, you're at the sharp left. So this is tricky. It's quite steep on my side.
Yep. It's going to be steep on every side.
I would drive right into that area.
Well, I think I can drop right here and then back up.
Go for it, if you think. Watch it.
Looks like it's going up without
Yes.
hitting. I would have been able to take that inside line. I didn't notice that one. That would have been a better line. If any of you are interested, I'm coming down the hill in 4 low, and generally I'm probably in about 3rd gear or 2nd gear most of the way. A couple times I've stopped and gone to 1st gear when I really want to crawl down a section. I always find down far more scary than up. None of this has been really all that bad. It's been pretty steep. We were at 24 degrees pointing down. Pitching down 23 degrees. That's about the most I've ever been pitching down.
Fairly sharp right, but not as bad as the other
Okay,
ones.
that's good. So we've had to actually make 3-point turns on a couple of the hairpins. Not so much because the hairpin was too tight, but it was because you had to come down the obstacle first and then make the corner. And we're a little long for that, actually, in some of these corners. So we're also coming into a very steep corner here, again with a rock step off. I think that's the right thing to do. So since they give me a little extra space, I just except that I got a little extra space, and I'm just going to go out. If I don't make this, I'll just do the 3-point turn. Yeah, I made it this time. So
in 4-wheel drive, the turns are not as sharp.
yes, Kareem is actually making a really good point there. I'm in 4-wheel drive low, so I can't actually turn all that sharp. And in fact, sometimes I probably don't really want to, because I'm pitching down into either the driver or passenger side so sharply that I take a potential risk of losing control, and that would be all bad.
We have a sharp right here.
So we're coming down a sharp right this time. So it's a hairpin to the right. And again, it's more a case of the little obstacles on the corner than the corner itself in terms of creating
There's
potential.
Bicycles right behind you. Bicycles.
Yep.
So if you want to pull over there and let them go by or something.
Do you want to go by me?
Thank you.
Then I have a target. So.
Oh, perfect.
I'd never catch them. So some bicycles just went by us, as you can see. And I suggested they might be targets, but man, they go so much faster than I'm going to go down here. So they're perfectly safe for me. That is, unless I roll off the hill and catch them on the corner.
Stay to the, I don't know, there's a drop off on passenger, so maybe driver.
Yeah, I think there's a drop off here too. And whoop, there we go. We just dropped off. Oh, and nothing went crash, so probably okay. You might be able to hear that the suspension's working hard. I have the sway bar off on the front to give me more pitch and roll and suspension flexibility on the front. I'm thinking too hard about driving them. Can't remember all the right words right at the moment. And this is the last little pitch before we're down.
And never let up your guard. So we've made it down Engineer Pass, and now we've completed a circle of the Alpine Loop. To the right is Cinnamon Pass, and we're going to go on to Animas Forks and camp over there for the night. Over here is the sign leading you up Engineer Pass if you're going to do it in the eastbound direction. Or if you go left to Ouray, that would take you down Mineral Creek, which we came up a couple days ago.
So that red Jeep up there, or yellow Jeep, or orange Jeep, red Jeep, is coming down Cinnamon Pass Road. We went up that yesterday.
It looks bad, but it's not really.
Yeah, it looks challenging, but it's actually much less challenging than coming down Engineering Pass Road. Primarily because Engineering Pass Road has become so rutted, and there are so many little holes on it that it's just a lot more challenging. Cinnamon Pass is narrow, or was narrow, it is narrow, but it was not too challenging in terms of having a lot of obstacles on it. There's Engineering Pass Road has more obstacles on it, and especially coming down it, there's a few drop-offs that, although I didn't actually hit the tail end, I just missed by the hair in my chinny chin chin. So that's something to keep in mind. So Green found us a pretty nice camping spot. It has some fantastic views. Let me go show you the view here. The only thing is it's got a little bit of slow-moving stream beside it, which means skeeters. Look at that view down there. Isn't that fantastic? It's cooking us a little lunch dinner, kind of a brunchy dinner. And I got the tents all set up and the cam mock cover. Awning, I guess, yeah. With its extra feet that are nailed into the ground in case it gets windy this afternoon, which it sometimes does. So it's definitely going to be a cold evening tonight. We had our little propane fire going with our little reflector and our little fan blowing some hot air towards us. That always works really well. We like that. And we still have our little cam mock up. We've probably used it more this year than we've used it probably all year. So, I'm sorry, we've used it more in this trip than we've used it all the year. So it's been kind of fun. Green had set up the time-lapse camera that night, and she caught an absolutely gorgeous sunset. Here it is. Hi folks, well it's the next morning and we've gotten ourselves all packed up, had a great night's sleep, beautiful little campsite.
It took a long time for the sun to come up over the eastern mountain, and so our tent was pretty chilly until after breakfast.
Yeah, actually I think we probably got out into maybe the high 30s last night, so it was definitely nippy. We really enjoyed having the furnace and keep us warm, so it was a bit cold, but we really had I think it was a great site. Really nice, beautiful, beautiful location.
Yeah, not too far from Animas Forks on County Road 2 as you're heading back to Silverton. So I'd definitely do another camp night on this road if we were coming this way again.
So I think it's time to get ourselves going.
Yep, more adventures.
Well, we sure hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below.
Down below.
And you can hit the notification bell once you've subscribed so that you know when new videos are released.
And I know a lot of you watch this on television, so you don't get a chance to leave us a comment. But those of you that are watching it on your iPhones and iPads and other instruments, please leave us a comment. Tell us how we're doing. Just say hi. Anything at all. We'd just love to hear from you. And until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now.